I feel bad lying to you guys. Like,
I love all this nerd.
I wouldn't recommend these packs if they weren't worth it.
Some of our most prolific storytellers and creators from 14 countries have joined us here in the audience today.
Today we are pulling back the curtain on Sims influencers, and no one's safe, not even me. But luckily, we're mostly going to focus on an elite group of Sims influencers called the Creator Network. So what is this elusive network? Well, when they're not on YouTube doing a Rags to Riches challenge for the 100th time, or urging players to use their creator codes when they buy Sims packs,
Use my creator code at checkout.
they can be found hyping up the 85th DLC. Speaking of DLC, did you know that when you buy a digital version of a game, you don't actually own it? So when I buy games, I never pay full price, which makes today's sponsor my hero. Instant Gaming is my go-to spot for buying PC and console games, but at amazing discounts. I recommend checking out Crusader Kings 3. It's 77% off right now and scratches that medieval fantasy, grand strategy, cousin marrying inbred simulator, edit that part out. On Instant Gaming, you can always find the latest releases. For example, the new Sims 4 pack Life and Death is already available for pre-order, and it's nearly 30% less than the price on the EA app. You should get it here just to spite EA, honestly. So the next time you're looking to try out some new games, use my Instant Gaming link in the description and I'll receive a small commission on your purchase. Thanks again to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Now back to it. So let's be real, some of the things we see EA creators do, all in the name of promoting Sims 4 DLC, is suspicious. So let's start here. In October 2020, The Sims was about to release the Snowy Escape expansion pack. They had just released the trailer for it, and as usual, the EA creators were busy hyping up the game and posting their reactions to the trailer. Enter the beloved Lil Simsy, who posted her own Snowy Escape reaction video filled with her usual excitable reactions. Now before you say anything, no, I do not hate Lil Simsy, and yes, I realize her fans are going to come after me, but I have to call this out, okay? Because Lil Simsy spent an entire video acting super surprised and excited about this new DLC.
Look at how good the world looks with the mountain in the background. This is stunning. And all the trees. I'm so excited about the new roof items. Like, look at these windows and stuff. Like, you can put actual clutter items in them. Look at that. All the books and stuff. Like, that's like a cookie jar and tissues and plates. Oh, and that stone doesn't have a boundary.
Only for us to find out later that she was paid by EA to help make this pack.
I built for it. I built 3 of the lots in the new pack. I know.
How do I know she got paid to work on it? Because other creators who've also worked on packs for The Sims 4 have stated that they were sponsored, aka paid, to do so. And that's completely fine. But the issue is that in her trailer reaction, she's acting like she's never seen this pack before, and while I'm sure some of the gameplay was new to her, the whole acting like she had no idea what the pack was about, and acting surprised by the build and buy items when she literally built lots for the pack,
I built for it. I built 3 of the lots in the new pack.
was questionable. Let me be more clear, it seemed fake AF. And to make matters worse, Lil Simsy was not the only EA creator who did this.
I love all this nerd.
Deligracy also found herself in the same position, although to give her credit, she did preface her video by saying she worked on the pack in some capacity. But again, she was pretending like all this was brand new to her.
Okay, so this is cool. This is a whole heap of new... these look like we're getting new kitchen counters. Yay!
Is all this fake excitement really necessary? Because like a week later, she announced that she built 3 lots for this pack.
I have built 3 lots that are going to appear in the next Sims 4 expansion pack.
Girl. Do Sims 4 stans just love fakery? I don't know.
Okay, so this definitely looks very inspired by Japan.
What the hell do you mean it looks like? You done knew it was Japanese inspired. You built this. What? In the words of this random EA creator who I've never spoken to, yet for some reason has me blocked on Twitter.
I feel bad lying to you guys. Like, straight up lying to you about stuff like that. Like,
But why does all this even matter? Well, for one, it makes people question their authenticity and credibility as creators, but more importantly, it highlights a crucial point about EA creators. They're not necessarily here to be honest and real with you. They're here to market the game. But to highlight this point, I'm going to put two videos on the screen and I want you to spot the difference. First up on the left, we have an EA partner proudly stating that after reviewing the For Rent pack, which is notoriously buggy, bare bones, and still broken to this day, he says it's on par with Cottage Living.
So for me to say that it's like right next and right up there with Cottage Living is a huge statement, I think.
I've actually played Cottage Living and I'm offended. And he goes on to rate this pack.
So for my score with this pack, I think I'd give it a 9. I can't give it a 9.5.
You heard that right. A 9 out of 10. And he wanted to give it a 9.5. Men and their decimals. Now contrast this review to Satch on Sims, a non-EA sponsored creator who reviewed the exact same pack, and just see what score he gives it.
My overall score of The Sims 4 For Rent is a 4 out of 10.
What in the hell?
Of course, different people can have different opinions, but there are things about many of the Sims 4 DLC, including For Rent, that are objectively and categorically bad. It's not a matter of opinion if the DLC is chock full of bugs and glitches. Some of the core gameplay mechanics don't even work, bruh. And yet, this EA creator is giving it a 9 out of 10. I find this to be inherently deceptive. Whether that was his intention or not, that is how it comes across. I also just want to say I take issue with anyone doing paid or sponsored reviews. Is it really a review if you're being paid or getting gifts? I mean, it's not a review that anyone should take seriously, but this reminds me of an often asked question. Are Sims YouTubers being paid for their reviews? Well, evidence is mixed. But recently we did find out that they were being given $100 per review.
They wouldn't let people participate in this early access unless they agreed to be paid $100 for a sponsored gallery post. So I was paid $100 and I'm getting a $40 game code for free.
You might scoff at how meager that number is, but apart from that, they also receive gifted packs which could range anywhere from $5 to $40 in value. All of this, of course, in addition to the boost in views they get for being the first to show off new content. So even if they aren't getting paid thousands of dollars directly from EA, they're still profiting off of their relationship with EA in other ways. And this brings me to our next point. According to YouTube policy, when content creators receive gifts, they must disclose these gifts to their audience. There is a box in YouTube Studio that you have to check if you're given anything of value that you include in your videos. And yes, this includes free DLC. Some Sims YouTubers are pretty good at marking their videos as paid promotion, as they should, but some of them seem to have a little trouble. Case in point, our next example, popular Sims news channel, Pixelade. This guy has over 200,000 subscribers, and from my understanding, Pixelade is different from the other creators I've mentioned so far because he isn't in the creator network. Also, someone left me this comment basically saying I'm the new Pixelade. I don't think it was meant as a compliment. However, here's where things get interesting. Pixelade doesn't just report on the Sims news, he also makes videos about other life simulation games like Paralives, and he also covers Inzoi, the latter being noteworthy.
I want to thank the Inzoi team and everyone over at Crafton for allowing me this opportunity. I can share with you, I'm working with them.
Exhibit A. A month ago, Pixelade posted this video on YouTube where he is proudly unboxing gifted merchandise from Crafton, the company that makes Inzoi.
I also just love the box and I love the packaging. They gave me a tote bag with this.
Sorry, did the literal sun shit out this video? Why does it look like this? Now, obviously, the Inzoi team sent these packages out to influencers to help promote the game. The influencers will influence, right? And I don't mind that he received these gifts, but I do mind that he violated YouTube policy.
Cut the cameras.
I'm dead ass.
Remember just a few seconds ago when I talked about checking the box? When you upload videos on YouTube, there's a box you have to check if your video is sponsored or if you received anything of value to make the video. That's what YouTube says verbatim. This is YouTube policy, but Pixelade did not check the box for this video or any of his Inzoi videos. You might be wondering, who the hell cares? Well, for one, it's about being transparent and honest with your viewers, and by checking that box, you're telling them, hey, this company gave me gifts, they're rewarding me for talking about their game, so I'm not unbiased. But more importantly, as a content creator, it's your legal responsibility to disclose. As far as I know, Pixelade lives in the US and the Federal Trade Commission has rules about disclosure. And in this instance, he is not following the rules. Like, he could actually get in trouble for this. Now, maybe we can just chalk this up to accidents happen, right? Maybe he simply forgot to click the button, and maybe he didn't see the comment I left on my burner account where I asked why the video wasn't marked as paid promo, and maybe he just deleted the comment on accident. Anyway, Pixelade, bruh, you're like 10 times bigger than me, and even I know this. Anyway, let's not harp on this too much because I'm not done. Because I take issue with a purported news channel accepting money or gifts from a game publisher. Obviously, I don't know the details surrounding Pixelade's agreement with Inzoi. He just said thank you so much to Crafton for sending me this.
Inzoi team over at Crafton, you guys are the best. Thank you for sending me this.
But again, when we put this in the context of this being a gaming news channel, it's giving Fox News when it comes to being quote-unquote fair and balanced. But since posting his possibly sponsored Inzoi content, Pixelade hasn't made any other videos about Inzoi, but I think it's safe to say that if he does, we should certainly take his words with a grain of salt. But I'm a nice guy, and I want to help Pixelade out. So here's an example of a creator who correctly labeled his videos as paid promotion. Would you look at that?
My first pet stuff adds a
My first pet stuff. Oh yeah, I know this guy. See, there was some controversy a while back because he was basically telling people that they should buy Journey to Batu because it's amazing. And then people got mad and were like, what the F are you talking about, bruh? And then in response, he made this video basically outing himself.
My previous Batu video was a sponsored video. I flagged it as branded content and I put the tags to indicate that EA has indeed paid me for making videos.
Where he said EA paid him to make the video, but they didn't force him to say he liked Journey to Batu. This is the Star Wars pack that we're talking about, one of the most criticized and hated packs in Sims 4 history. But here he is again, this time getting paid by EA to promote My First Pet Stuff. It's a DLC that you have to have another DLC to play, aka it's a DLC for a DLC.
Whenever EA sponsors my videos, they do not tell me what to say. They do not force opinions on me, and they do not make me have an opinion that I don't want.
If EA isn't forcing him to make videos about this pack, why on earth would he choose this one out of all of them? I don't want to have to repeat this for every person I talk about, but Gon seems like a nice guy. He seems cool, and he actually left this comment on the video I made a few months ago when I talked about him. And in his comment, he said he talked about Journey to Batu because it was a pack he strongly believed in. And that's fine, maybe he really did love that pack. But my question is, does this mean he also believes in My First Pet Stuff, a pack which exemplifies the egregious monetization of the Sims franchise by this billion-dollar company? I hope not, because this is not once, but twice that he's used his platform to hawk some of the worst Sims 4 DLC in existence. And he admitted he's getting paid by EA to do it.
EA has indeed paid me.
That's so fucked. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't recommend these packs if they weren't worth it.
Even if you aren't a shill, it looks like a shill, it quacks like a shill, you are doing everything a shill would do. There is this thing in psychology called reciprocity bias, and to simplify, it basically means that if someone shows kindness to you, then you're more likely to show kindness in return, whether you're aware of it or not. And when that kindness comes in the form of money or gifts, the reciprocity bias is even more apparent. I think this is what bothers me about EA creators, because these are people who are actually in a position to improve the state of the Sims 4 and the franchise as a whole and drive this franchise toward a more positive future. But instead, they appear to be so blinded by reciprocity bias that they use their platforms to just continuously hype up this game and thus encourage EA to continue with the mediocrity it's delivering. And to highlight this point, I want to talk about Plumbella. So let's take a look at Plumbella's video from October 2021 when EA announced a brand new kind of Sims DLC.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Kits.
But these are all kits, right? And I'm a bit like, why sell kit when expansion pack do trick? It's oversaturating the market right now, in my opinion. Like, kits are saturating the market because where's me expansion packs? Where's me game? I miss them. It's £5 per kit, right? And I found that quite astronomical, actually.
Clearly, Plumbella is skeptical of the idea of kits, and she's basically saying that she doesn't like the idea of adding even more DLC to this game. She says they're too expensive and it's already oversaturated enough. And I completely agree. Kits are overpriced and the game already has thousands of build buy assets with an abysmal amount of gameplay. So she's right. And that's one thing I like about Plumbella. She doesn't hold back when it comes to saying how she really feels. But is that really how she feels? Fast forward a year later, and Plumbella posts a video where she reveals that she has collaborated with EA to make, you guessed it, her own kit.
And then I got the opportunity to create a kit for The Sims 4, and I took it very seriously.
What? What happened to being against the idea of kits? I think it's very clear to everyone watching that these two videos that she made a year apart are very different. She stated in the reveal video for her kit that she was sponsored by EA, which is influencer speak for she got paid to work on it. And honestly, it just sucks that her opinion appears to have changed so easily, because now there are like 40 kits or something crazy. And EA has announced plans to make even more. And look, when it comes to the DLC, I'm not saying all of the Sims 4 DLC is bad, but there are over 80 DLC for this game. Let that sink in. It is unacceptable. And I challenge you to name a major video game franchise today that has 80 DLC.
Name 'em. That what? Name 'em.
Let me help you out. You can't, because it doesn't exist. There are no major titles operating today that have even 20 expansion packs. This is ridiculous, and this company has gotten away with drip feeding content to its players, and these EA partners who promote these packs are just as responsible as the people who continue to buy them. That's the entire point of this video. We have to start holding these influencers accountable. To be honest, all of the EA creators are guilty of overhyping DLC. Like, are you guys gonna be doing this when we're in the hundreds of DLC? Get out while you still can, cause this shit's embarrassing. The quality is so garbage. A lot of them are never even fixed. And oh yeah, that reminds me, my wedding stories. This was sort of an anomaly because it was maybe the one and only time I've seen EA creators criticize a pack across the board. But I'm not sure criticize is the right word, because I have to say, the way some of these creators still give so much leeway to EA is a huge turnoff. Almost all of them are guilty of doing this, but take Deligracy for example, who despite not recommending anyone buy the pack,
because I can't recommend the game to you,
still decided to reassure her viewers and tell them this.
If you go and choose to buy this pack, you're going to have a finalized build, not the same one as me that I'm showing you. I do know that the Sims are working very hard to get this fully patched up for release.
I wonder how many people watched her video and then proceeded to buy the pack because they believed, like she said, they were working on it and they were gonna fix these bugs. I'm so turned off by the fact that so many of these creators will make excuses for this company and go easy on them when they release broken products to players. No one should be defending this billion-dollar company or giving them the benefit of the doubt. But the truth is, this happens with influencers across every industry. But this video is not the first time I've held influencers accountable. Last year, I made this video about the Inzoi influencers and the expensive gifts they received that many of them conveniently forgot to tell their viewers about. And mind you, PCs with these specs retail in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. That's a pretty big detail to leave out, no?
You need to be honest, because that's not cool.
Check out that video if you haven't, and to lighten the mood, I've left a list of some of my favorite Sims creators in the description. These are creators with so much talent and they're such a breath of fresh air. I cannot recommend them enough, so please support them if you can, and I'll see you in the next one.